Did you all know that Rebecca has over 14 years as a financial advisor? Did you know that she started when she was 2? Yes, it's true. It's true. So how I met Rebecca was through BNI, which is also where I met Doug. And Rebecca became my financial advisor. And that's where our friendship began and our relationship and everything that we've been able to do together. And I so value her ethics, her authenticity, her realism with what you can do with money and what you can do with what you already have and how you can grow it and how you can have the life you always wanted because of it. Well, out of that, in this particular iteration of her life, she has stepped away from being a financial advisor and created a phenomenal program to help women and men, a few good men, get a really close relationship with their money and to have a positive relationship with their money through her Money Summit. And I like to say that you need to have a love affair with your money. You have to treat it like a lover. Woo it, win it, and use it. With that, you didn't get that. Let me bring Rebecca back up on the stage.
Thank you, Linda. Great. So I'm excited, and I hope that you are too, to talk about money. I even wore my special money shoes. See, they look like coins. So if we have that foundation that we're working from. But I'm really excited to talk about money because I find it's the thing we don't want to talk about. And we get squirrely and squiggly and uncomfortable and hope someone doesn't bring it up. But secretly inside, we really wish there was someone we could talk to about money. We really wish we could get some support to go where we're trying to go with money. But we don't know who to talk to. We don't know who to trust. We don't know where to start. And we have this money mess that we're dealing with that we like to keep over there, separate from us. Kind of like that closet, maybe you guys don't do this, but companies coming over and you just kind of stuff everything in and then hope no one opens it, right? Like that's sometimes how we are dealing with the money stuff, and it becomes this tangled mess. So today I want to start unraveling that in a little bit, the mess, so that it can start to create some sense in your life. And even beyond that, that actually can be a supportive foundation for you. Instead of this thing we hope we don't have to deal with, but we know we have to, the have to and shoulds start entering the picture. And here's what I found really interesting in the money world, is that so many of us get the courage to come in and get help, but then we're beating ourselves up the whole time for where we're at. And in fact, all the time of getting ready to go and perhaps get help, they're doing the same thing. I would have these amazing, dynamic people come into my office, and I could tell it had taken everything they had to get there. And they were like this. And then we go into the secret room with a closed door for privacy and to protect them. And they would kind of crumble even more and start sharing, not making eye contact, about how they shouldn't be where they should be, and they're really embarrassed and how stupid they are, and I can't believe I'm here again, and I shouldn't have to do this, and it just became this painful experience. And I would stop them. And I would share what is actually true. That it's a courageous act to be willing to lean in to help in an area that you feel vulnerable in and isn't where you would like it to be. That's a courageous act. That's worthy of honor and respect. And if they were hearing or feeling anything else, it wasn't coming from me. And it probably wasn't the first time they had experienced that, either someone outside themselves or themselves giving them that message. So I want you to hear this truth about money, because if we're going to fall into balance with it, we need to start in a place of truth. You can't go back in time. There's no shoulds. It's, where am I at now? Let's discover that. Let's figure that out. And where do I want to go? There's no room in there for the blame game or the uncomfortableness or someone's fault or shame. It's a courageous act to look and build where you want to go. So a myth I hear out there, because there's a lot of myths and misunderstandings around money. And one of them is more. I just need more. I need to earn more. And someday when that happens, whatever that more number is, because we don't tend to like to pin it down, then I can do this or be this. And what I want to tell you is more is not the answer. I worked with people that had nothing or were restarting to multimillionaires. And guess what? All had a discomfort with money. It didn't have to do with the number of dollars or assets they were managing. There was a discomfort. And something else we've noticed, that when people win the lottery or they have an inheritance come in, within 3 to 5 years, they're right back where they were with money, if not worse off. Because, and here's the piece, they didn't know how to be in a relationship with more. Because we have a relationship with money. Whether we like the relationship or not, we still have that. We still interact with money. And if it's not where we want it to be, we can change that. And you in this room have an advantage many others don't. Because you believe in empowerment. You have many of the coaching skills out there, healing skills, that a lot of the world does not have, which is why they need you so much. But guess what? Those skills are transferable to the relationship with money. We just have to be willing to make that transition and do that. So more can be part of the answer, but in and of itself, it is not the answer. And here's a tip around that. You want to be clear what you mean by more. Is $1 more? It's typically not what we mean when we're saying more. Be specific, so your mind can actually get behind building specifically what you're wanting to build, what that more is. When you keep it fuzzy, it's hard for it to give you support and build where you want to go. Here's the other thing, the other area I'd find people get really squiggly in. It's, where are your dollars going? Specifically. Not about, I just know there's not enough. I just know at the end of the month, there's less than there should be, or I have more month. There just needs to be more. What they were resistant to is actually getting specific, and let's look. Where are your dollars really going? Not with judgment, not with criticism. There's no room for that. That doesn't help. It doesn't support. But let's really do a check-in. If we looked at your last month spending experience, would someone know what's really important to you? I discovered, and I've been in the industry, I was in the industry a lot of years. I worked for worldwide consulting firms. I traveled the country. I helped leadership teams, companies, startups to Fortune 500s manage their retirement plans and then work with their employees so they understood how to work with them. And I still found they got really squiggly around where their dollars are going. And I did myself, and I was in the industry. I just found that I was going up the ranks. I became the youngest AVP in the company. I had signing authority, and I was usually the only woman on the team or the conferences, so I was feeling pretty good about what I was doing. And I was climbing the ladder there, and my income supposedly was going up. But somehow, I felt like I was still saying no to some of those things that I wanted to do because I couldn't afford them. They weren't in the budget yet. And I felt like my take-home pay wasn't changing much, even though the overall, gross income was supposedly going up. And I got really frustrated by this. I thought, that government and taxes, they're doing something. Something's happening here. So I decided to actually look. You know what I found? I had some habits that were not necessarily supportive of those things I said were most important to me, particularly Starbucks. Because I was in the city, and it took a lot to get into the city, the whole BART thing, and I had to get up early and do all of that, and then I would go across to the Starbucks that knew my name. Sometimes would give me that bonus mocha, non-fat, with the pumpkin scone when in season. But I was trying to be careful with my spending, so I would bring my lunch every day, right? Because I didn't want to spend just to eat. But then guess what happened in the afternoon? Bip. So I'd go across the street to the other Starbucks that also knew my name and get the non-fat mocha. That was my thing. Sometimes the really big one. And by my final position in the city, we actually had a Starbucks in our building on the ground floor. And guess what? They also knew my name. And they had these wonderful egg sandwiches so that I could actually have client meetings down there as well. So if you start adding that up times 5, that becomes a pretty big number. But I wasn't paying attention to it because it was just kind of the rhythm of my day, and it became normal. But if I added those up, that was a trip to Europe. This cruise, those were different things I could have done. And I will tell you, I did get judgmental of myself. I got angry. I beat myself up. I shouldn't have known better. How could I be doing this? Became embarrassed. So it took me a little while to release that and actually shift to a place that I could actually look at things a little differently. And here's what I discovered. That's found money. I just found thousands of dollars every year that now that I knew, I could decide what I wanted to do with them, how I wanted to harness them. And I still have Starbucks. Starbucks was not the issue. It was that I had just let this leak or this parasite, it become a parasite. My life becomes so big, day by day, our habits, that it was sabotaging the things that were really important to me because I wasn't pausing. I wasn't being purposeful in my spending. I really encourage you to get intimate. I loved what you shared. Get intimate with your dollars. Really find out what's happening. We do this with our health. Has anyone done a food journal ever? And just, you don't have to raise your hand for this. I will confess, when I did a food journal, somehow my habits changed. Because I was documenting it. I was paying more attention. I would stop at 3 cookies instead of, I don't know how many the bag was open. Because I didn't want to write that down. When we start to get really personal and intimate and we pay attention, we start making different choices. We can do the same thing with our money. And when we get intimate and we really look at what's happening, then we could decide, now that I know this, is this what's important to me? How do I want to shift this so that it's going towards what matters to me, what I want to build? Does that make sense? Okay, good. And there's another thing, and I get a little feisty about this. I have a show we're filming right now called Money Talks, and it's a 15-minute segment. It's on public broadcasting, and then we're going to be converting it for our internet-based shows as well. And when I started talking about this, normally it's like a 5 to 7 minute share, and then I have questions that I answer. Well, I went about 10 minutes. So I found this is something I feel very passionate about. Money blocks. I find one of the things that we are really gifted in our arena as coaches and speakers and healers are removing our money blocks. And we know that we need to do that. We spend time on that. We lean in. We'll have things we do every morning, every day to get support around moving our money blocks. And then we wait. And then we get mad because where are the dollars? I removed my blocks. And when I talk to people, I'll say, Rebecca, I'm spending a lot of time and energy every day saying my truths. I'm removing my blocks. I've released this. I'm ready to receive money. I'm like, fabulous. So what are you doing? I'm releasing my money blocks. I'm breathing. I'm ready to receive. And I'm actually getting a little angry. So then I have to release that too because the money isn't coming. I said, great. I'm glad you're doing that. So what are you doing to bring money in, not just receive? And they do this. And it's really interesting because the world I came from, in the financial world, we're really good at this is what you do. Here's the steps you take. Here's the actions you do. We didn't have a lot of awareness around this whole money block thing. So we're really good at building the plans. Here's the steps. And then people would put it to the side and not do it because it was our plan. We were in the center, not them. And we weren't meeting them where they were at. We weren't helping them with that emotional side. I feel like in this coaching, speaking world, we're really good at that. But we're a little bit weak in the what do I do area. For example, when people say they want to buy something from us, are we following up? Are we calling them back? Are we, when we're having those discovery sessions and conversations, are we actually making an offer that they know is an offer? Is it clear? Because money fog comes up. We can get confused. We can need things repeated to us. So if we're going to make a sale, we need to be really clear. This is what I offer. This is the cost. This is the value. Here's how you say yes. We need to promote. We need to share. We have to do some activities to bring the money in as well as remove the blocks. So we need to have both the practical things we're doing, a plan, a strategy around money that we're going to build, that we know the activities we need to do. And sometimes that's where we need the support. What are the things I need to do? And that's fine. Then that's where we get the help. But if we're only dealing with the profound, that's like waiting to be discovered. We need to be willing to lead our business and our dollars. We get it backwards. We keep waiting for money to prove itself to us again. I remove my blocks. Where's my money? And then we get mad at it, so we put it in the closet because it's not coming. And we're not being clear. We're not letting it know how to flow. We're not saying what we mean by more. So there's some healing that needs to happen, but there's also steps that we can take to bring dollars in. Does that make sense? Okay. There's another myth floating out there that you're supposed to do it all on your own. It has to be really hard. And you can't make eye contact in life. You can't get support. You just have to forego it and have this be like the secret that you never talk about. And some of that's because we haven't really made it safe to talk about money in our society. We don't quite know how to do that. We like to use different words than money. Abundance, prosperity, wealth. These are all fabulous words, but they're not as clear as let's talk about money. Let's talk about your dollars. Different kind of energy. And they're fabulous words, but we need to be clear when we're talking about where we want to go in life with our money. Does that make sense? Okay, good. Now, I wanted to talk about, I'm just making sure, because I was so excited about this subject. I created some new things for you that came to me. So I hope you like them as much as I'm excited about them to share them with you. Before we go there, though, I just want you anticipating and excited. Yes. Yeah? Okay. I want to talk about new things. Because sometimes and this happens in our relationships with money, this happens in our relationships, this happens in life. We're going along, we've decided this is where I want to go, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to build. So we start getting our focus in, doing the steps, taking the activity, get that forward projection and momentum going. But then, oh my goodness, we start going somewhere we haven't been before. And our mind goes, that's not safe. I don't know if I can survive that. Even though you know it's on the upside, like where we can, I don't know if we can survive that. That's not safe. Danger, danger, danger. And so we self-sabotage, we start not showing up, we get sick, and we start to kind of collapse within. We start to spiral down. We do a lot of different words. We say a lot of different words, but it's a contraction that will happen. And then we start going below our familiar comfort zone. And we go, this is too far, too low, that's not okay. So we pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, we call our friends, whatever it may be, so we can get back on track, get back to where we need to go. And then we go somewhere we haven't gone before, and it starts all over again. So we end up staying within this comfort zone, not necessarily that it's comfortable, but it's familiar. And familiar, we know we can survive. But are we looking to just survive? I'm going to say no. We're looking to thrive. We're looking to, oh, we forgot. We need to try that again. We're looking to shine. So are we willing to go somewhere we haven't gone before? Are we willing to try some new things to go where we say we want to be? Because what's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing and expecting different results.
Exactly. Only we'll do it harder and more. And I hear that again and again. I'll just do more, but it's not working. Well, that's what I know. I'm going to keep moving. But if we can pause and actually put a strategy together, get some support, get help to go where we want to go, it becomes a very different story. And here's where we actually need the help to go from here to here. And please notice it's still up and down. It's not this smooth flowing projection that we would like. It does go up and down, but we can shift to the next level, to the next level. You guys want to know? We get support when we're going where we haven't gone before, not when we have the dips. We've got that down. We know how to pull ourselves out. What we're not as skilled in is getting help as we're going where we haven't gone before, but that's what's going to take you from this level to the next. So you want to think about, what is the help I need? Where am I fuzzy? Where am I needing support? And I want to take a moment. If you have been listening throughout the day, there are a lot of money people in the room. Did you all notice that? Can I have the money people stand? Look at all of these financial experts, and I want you to know they all have different skills that are complementary. It's not in competition. They all have skills where they can support you in different ways and play really well together. I want you to feel, in a sense, that you're surrounded in a great, positive, supportive way. Not like you're surrounded, hide, It's in a positive way, being held by all of these financial experts in the room that can support you in different ways. And look, they're smiling. They're friendly. Yeah. And Brandy will make you cup. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, she's amazing at what she does. She rolls up her sleeves and really walks right beside you exactly where you're at. So I encourage you, get to know them. They're already in our community. Figure out the support that will help you. And find out, say, what kind of a financial expert are you? That's the question you can ask if you're looking for one. And you can see how they start to fit in your picture to see, is that where the support's needed? Thank you. Yeah. Do you guys feel the support? because I'll have them stand again. I'll make sure you can feel it. No, but I did. I mean, it was warmth, and they're really here to help. And that's something I found. There were a lot of myths out there that people are nervous around financial experts, that they're feeling like they can't quite trust them. I don't know, they're intimidating, they use language I don't understand. And what I have discovered is financial experts have such a heart to serve. They're willing to be that person that when you find out what they are, you change the conversation. They're willing to keep going to the networking events to find that one person they can help. And how you can tell if they're a financial expert for you or not is if they're hearing what's important to you about money. If they want to know where you're wanting to go, they want to understand what you're wanting to build, where you are in the center of the flower, not them. That's how you know you've got a great financial expert that's there to support you, not the other way around. So if you're looking for a way to tell, that's a great way. Perfect. So now we're going to our exciting chart here. Ta-da! I'll do drum rolls soon. Okay. So, oh yeah, thank you. I even got one. I love it. So I talked about how we keep money kind of separate. So we're here, and money is down here. Notice that's kind of a solid wall. But notice money could actually be in a supportive position if it was holding that space in a way that supported you. But if we don't tell money what we need, what we want, what we're wanting to build, it can't support you in a way that makes sense. We actually have to lead that relationship. We lead the pathway so that money can connect to us. And this is how we do it. And this is what I used to tell people, is I help you make a heart connection with your money. I help you connect what's most important to you with money, so it actually helps you build that. That's how you create a pathway that connects you with your money and helps the money flow. Does that make sense to everybody? So I want you to ask a question, and there's a worksheet, a companion worksheet that with the dollar. Yes, exactly. And it asks you just to do a quick rating of where are you with your relationship with money on a scale of 1 to 10. You can even do 0 if you want. That's relationship. Or is it thriving? I can't wait to get together with money next and build our next amazing empire. That's 10. That could be 10 plus. Just where are you? Just a quick check-in. These are for your eyes only. But it's good to check in. Where do you want it to be? Maybe it's exactly where you want it to be. Great. Perhaps you want it to be a little bit different. But we need to know where you're at, where you want to go to build a plan to get there. And then this whole heart piece. What is important to you about money? Not what's important to your neighbor, to your kids, to your significant other, to Dave Ramsey. What's important to you about money? About life? About what you're wanting to build, the legacy you're wanting to create? What's important to you? And do a quick check-in with what's coming to you and what you're writing down. Is that really what's important to you? Is that where you have feeling? Or is that something you can see valuable to somebody else? One of the common responses I would get is, I want to create enough money in my life to be able to take care of my family. Great answer. Beautiful. But then I would say, I understand what's in it for them, how that's a valuable thing to support your family. But what I want to know is what's in it for you. I see what's in it for them. So you want to go deep enough to where you know how it makes you feel. Do you understand the difference? And I'm saying taking care of the family is a valuable, great thing. But that's for them. What's in that even for you? Does it make you feel good? Does it make you feel peaceful? Does it make you feel this way? That's where you bring heart in. And this is what you share with your financial advisor or expert or whoever is walking beside you. Let them know what's important to you. Let them know what you're trying to build so they can actually support you in that. Does that make sense to everyone? And here's the other thing I find with money. You know how opposites can attract? Has anyone ever experienced that? I find the really tall people are sometimes attracted to the not as tall people. The spenders are attracted to the savers. And they appreciate that about each other, and then it drives them crazy. The shy people and the social people, and then that social one is talking to everybody. So how do we navigate through that when it comes to money? It's this question. If you can, not in the heat of the moment when you're frustrated over your differences, but if you can really go into having a conversation, you can blame it on me. I was at this seminar or this presentation, and this Rebecca lady asked an interesting question, and my extra credit bonus opportunity was to ask the question. And actually, as I think about it, we haven't really talked about it in this way. So I would love to talk with you about money. And Rebecca made me do it, you know, whatever you want to say. But what I'd love to know is what's important to you about money. I mean, really important. Don't share your answer. You've already got your answer. Let them share it. Let them get to that point of feeling. If they say freedom, great. But people mean different things when they say the word freedom. What does it mean to you? So that you're very clear. And what you'll frequently find is as you drill in, there are some common things that are both important to both of you. So when that time of conflict happens and temperatures are rising, you can take a breath and say, wait a minute. You know, have that safe language. Let's stop for a moment. Can we remember what's important to both of us about money? And how can we work towards those things? Now you're on the same side of the table, approaching the problem or what you're trying to do. It's not my way or your way. How can we accomplish feeling this way, building this that matters most? Does that make sense? And a financial expert's a great person to have the conversation in front of. Somehow we behave a little differently when there's someone holding space. We maybe won't interrupt. We'll actually really let them talk. We won't necessarily go down the same argument paths that are familiar, if you remember. Maybe not what we want, but familiar. So it's really great to have a financial expert even facilitate that conversation so that you can get on the same side of the table. So it's not something that can strain things. Does that make sense? Okay, good. Oh, I want you to think about if money could talk to you, We've been talking a lot about talking to money. If money could talk to you, what would you want it to say to you? What would you like money to whisper in your ear that would make you let it out of the closet? Maybe share your dreams and what you want to build with it. What would you like money to say to you so you feel supported? And I actually want you to give that gift to someone at your table. That you take a moment and you whisper in their ear, and you can actually travel to another table too. What is it you wish money would say to you, and give that gift to another? So we're going to get real personal. This isn't just content and information. I want us to start applying it and interacting with it. So in about 10 seconds, I'm going to have us share with each other what we wish money would say to us. That would encourage us, help us feel supported, feel like we can trust it. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So let's go ahead and stand up. Find someone that looks like they need a little encouragement from money, that you want to share that gift. What would you like money to say to you? What would you wish it would say to you? I've got you. I'm here for you. You can count on me. There's more to come. We're just getting started. What is it you wish money would say to you? Okay, now let's find another buddy to share and spread the money connection. Let's find another buddy, because we're getting safe with this one. Let's find another.
We had a discussion back there. How about honey, I'm home?
Oh, I love that. Honey, I'm home. Beautiful. Wonderful. If I could have you start to make your way back to your seats. Okay, all of my wonderful money connectors. I observed a few things. I actually saw smiles out there talking about money. I heard laughing. I saw hugs. I saw the energy raise. Didn't it feel good to be supported by money? To support each other around that? That it could actually feel good to connect in this way. This is an activity you can actually take with you, I promise. And think about, what is it that you would like money to do for you? How would you know it's supporting you? What is it that you need? And then be willing to receive that. Does that seem doable? Okay. Because I talked about how we can have this money mess. And what I find is we know the dollars are there somewhere. And then we kind of put our stuff on it, other people's stuff on it, and it becomes really hard and confusing to connect with it. And it becomes this mess. And we don't know how to untangle it. So we just kind of rather not deal with it if we didn't have to. So this makes us feel disempowered, not having what we're wanting to build and grow. And sometimes maybe even a little angry at it. But when we can get support, where it's actually in an organized fashion, we know where it goes, how it's built, where we're at and where we want to go, and we're in the center, guess how that makes us feel? So a lot of this starts with feeling, but then it leads to action. So I've shared with you, it's really important to know where you're at, where your dollars are going, what the numbers really are like, not about, I think, I should. Where are they really? Without judgment, no criticism, no shoulds. So let's find out. Not I think, kind of about, what is it? And we've explored what's important to you about money. So where do you want it to go? And be specific. And this is cash flow. This is future building. This is your retirement. And retirement isn't retiring from life. So please hear me. There's a phase where we're accumulating. We're putting dollars towards. So at some point we don't have to work. We can choose to. But we're not necessarily trying to accumulate because we're living off of what we've accumulated. So we want to be looking at how all of those pieces are working in our life and see where they're at. And are they the size they need to be to do what we're wanting to do? And if not, then that's where we lean in and get help. That's where we get through the fog to having some order and to having it support us in the center. Here's what I want for you. I want to go from here to here to here. And I want you to picture all these beautiful flowers and community around you as you are standing and shining powerfully in the world. That's what I want for you. And with that, I would love us to take a stand with our flower pins. I want you to stand and lift yourself up, because this is a choice we have every day in our life, in our money, in our practices, in our business, and how we're going out there in the world. We get to choose if we're going to lift ourselves up and be seen and be part of this amazing garden of life. Are we going to occupy space where we're still here, but the garden's less vibrant? And what I hope that you do when you're choosing this is that you are choosing to bloom where you're planted and shine. Great, thank you.